When you think of Chilliwack, you think of this. Redneck. But did you know that we also have a thriving art scene right here in Chilliwack? That's right, music, art, drama, filmography. And on November 22nd, we're gonna discover the diverse spectrum of Chilliwack's art scene. From redneck truck to fancy red tux, Chilliwack's got it all.
Headlines most affecting Chilliwack this week. A former MLA getting a new job with the same political party. The first case of a human getting the bird flu in the Fraser Health region. And the search for a senior near Harrison Lake that's been called off. As well, the BC Community Football Championships are this weekend. Alex will have more on that in sports. Our guests this week include author and broadcaster Brian Antonson, his updated book Slumach's Gold, The Search for the Lost Gold Mine, and Josh Draheim with the Chilliwack Salvation Army. All right, Chilliwack, let's get started. The provincial director of the BC NDP, Heather Stoutenberg, is moving on, and former Chilliwack MLA Dan Coulter will be the interim provincial director. Now, he lost his seat in the October 19th provincial election to Heather Maws. The position is to coordinate the day-to-day operations of the party. It's expected Coulter will get the full green light to be the director down the road. Premier David Eby's transition team continues to plan and prepare so government can hit the ground running when the new cabinet is sworn in on Monday the 18th at Government House in Victoria. The BC NDP are in mourning after Eby's predecessor, the Premier John Horgan, lost his battle with cancer earlier this week. A BC teenager testing presumptive positive for avian influenza, also known as the bird flu, caused by the H5 influenza virus. A couple of poultry farms, one each in Abbotsford and Chilliwack, tested positive. Now, the teen is from the Fraser Health region. That does not necessarily mean from the Fraser Valley. And by the way, that egg farm in Abbotsford had to cull the entire flock. A parent's worst nightmare amplified. A young mom of two, 23-year-old Shailene Bell, was last seen in January of 2021, and just a couple of months later, her body was found in the Fraser River near Coquitlam. Now, since then, her parents, Alina and Kevin Durham, have championed for an adult alert system, similar to the Amber Alert for kids. Now, a plaque in Shay's honor was laid next to a tree on Luckakuk Trail, and last week, that plaque was stolen. The memorial site was desecrated. Now, Alina, and who has been on chillTV in the past, has asked us to ask you to plead for the return of that donated plaque. If you have any information at all, you're asked to contact RCMP.
Run in circles, feel it within. Breathing out and breathing in. Count the spaces, hands on my skin. Breathing out and breathing
Last month, Langley Mounties asked for help in locating Jane Whitehouse. She was reported missing October the 25th, last seen in Aldergrove on that day. Langley Mounties confirmed her vehicle was found stuck in a washout up East Harrison Road on a Forest Service road on the east side of Harrison Lake. Search and rescue have had to make the difficult decision to suspend that search until spring because winter weather is now setting in. Her family took to social media thanking everybody involved in the search and hoping for closure. In late October of 2024, crews installed the replica of the iconic Paramount P in the new breezeway by the Paramount Project, the building across from District 1881. It's the new home for Chilliwack Community Services on the old side of the now demolished and remembered Paramount Theatre. Now, last Thursday, the ribbon cutting and dedication took place with a number of dignitaries, including the Mayor Ken Popoff. A plaque unveiled to explain what this refurbished Paramount Theatre P was all about, and it's now in the brand new Paramount Alley. The book, Slumach's Gold in Search of a Legend and a Curse, chronicles Canada's most enduring lost mine mystery. The book came out in 2007. There is an expanded version. One of the authors, Brian Antonson, will be joining us to talk about the book and its rich history in just a moment. Community Angels Food and Housing Support Society, Tidal Foods, and Suprema coming together to host a Christmas luncheon for seniors. That's December the 20th at the Lions Hall on Spadina. You do have to register through Tidal Foods and their social media. Coming up, author Brian Antonson and the search for a lost gold mine, our interview with Josh Draheim of the Salvation Army, and a lot of local football with Alex in sports in just a minute. This week continues with a broadcaster, an author. He used to be one of my instructors at BCIT, but we won't get into that. long time ago. Brian Antonson, you, your brother, and a third writer started a book in 2007, and that's called Slumach's Gold. Now you're doing something with it and enhancing it. And what's this all about? Is this like a local gold mine, or what's the story behind this?
The legendary Slumach Lost Gold Mine up behind Pitt Lake. This has been a legend in the lower mainland for about 130 years. Yeah. In actual fact, our first book that we did, I should say that we heard about this whole thing around a campfire when I was 9 years old, and we were captivated. We were going to go searching.
Okay. So it is a campfire story.
Yeah,
okay.
And we were going to go searching for this lost gold mine, and then we realized nobody'd found it after all these years and so on, and let's write a book about it. So the three of us, Brother Rick, Mary Trainer, and I, she's also a BCIT graduate, got together and we wrote our first book in 1972, sold 10,000 copies. Now, 10,000 copies is 5,000.
That's a New York Times bestseller.
Yeah.
For
5,000
Canada.
is a bestseller in Canada. So we then ultimately sold that company off to another company called Heritage House, which now owns the rights to this book. They asked us to produce the one in 2007, and we did. That's now sold almost 15,000. And so together they've sold 25,000 about the lost gold mine legend. And so come into the 2020s now, and they wanted this book here, Slumach's Gold, to be produced. Kudos to them for excellent production work. Kudos to us and so many other people for following the legend forever. I can maybe show some of these beautiful pictures that show up in the book, and just wonderful things that many of which a photographer.
Is that the actual mine?
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? You see, all these years later, nobody's ever actually found the mine. But there are tantalizing thoughts that people have actually found nuggets the size of gold, the size of walnuts. Walnuts up in the upper pit area and so on. So the legend persists. There's a curse on the lost gold mine. Supposedly, Slumach actually cursed as he stood on the gallows for murder. He said, "Nicomemulus, mine memulus," which means, when I die, mine dies in the Chinook jargon. In actual fact, reporters who were present said he did not say a word. At the time, he did not say a word. Went to his death without that. That doesn't stop legends from keeping going and making.
Well, that's part of the legend. He was up for murder.
He actually, and the wrong murder. The legend says he was murdering Native women and so on back in the days, indigenous people, though the newspapers called them Native women, and things like that. But that was not true either. He had an altercation with a guy named Louis B. Louis B. raised his tomahawk to hit him. Slumach raised his gun and shot him, and that's why he was ultimately hanged in 1891. But the legend has been captivating for so many people. Thousands of people have gone looking for this lost gold mine up in the pit area. Some have died, and then people say, "Wow, that's the curse," acting out and so on. But we chronicle the whole thing, and this is our third version. The first was 56 pages. The second was 160. This is 224 pages. All the wonderful photographs. There we are with our 2007 book. This was on the front page of the Province newspaper.
Right,
And very, very wonderful exposure. But when you look at these kind of photographs and you see what is up there, that's meant to deter you and say, don't go up there if you don't know what it is like to deal with glaciers and mountain.
And there's no forest service roads or anything.
To some extent there are, and then you have to get way up into the territory by hiking. There's a current hit television show, the #1 reality specialty channel show in Canada, 2 seasons in a row, and that's called Dead Man's Curse. Some of the locals here are involved in that. The main star is Adam Palmer. He's a Chilliwack guy.
Yeah.
And they've had huge success following the hints, following the trails. High country, low country, looking for gold.
Has this book been used in history classes, or do we know of?
I don't know that.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't doubt it. It's in school libraries, and it's in libraries all over the Fraser Valley and all over the greater Vancouver area and so on, of course. But I don't know if anybody's actually used it in a history class. However, a teacher asked me the other day, would you come and talk about this to my social justice? And there's a huge element in here about social justice. Slumach was hanged with white man's justice in 1891. He would not have been hanged if the murder had occurred today.
Now, when it comes to getting the book, Bookman in Abbotsford and Chilliwack will have it. I know it's on Amazon.
So. Yep.
Have we been able to go to some of the other...
Indigo,
outlets?
Black Bond. It came on, it was published on October the 29th. 1 week later, it was #5 on the BC bestsellers list. So it's popping up everywhere, and people are buying it like mad. And we're also in the top 10 this week.
And a great idea for a Christmas present. Hint, hint. Slumach's Gold, Brian Antonson, thanks a bunch, and we'll definitely have you back.
Great.
You're watching This Week.
Hello Chilliwack, here are your sports this week. The 2024 BC Community Football Association Championships are at Chilliwack's Exhibition Stadium all day Saturday, November 16th. Players involved come from the Valley Community Football League, Chilliwack Giants, Abbotsford Falcons, North Langley, Meadow Ridge, and Mission. The UFV Cascades Rowing Club has a strong fall competing against top competition at the Western Canadian University Rowing Championships, recently on October 5th and again last weekend at the Canadian University Rowing Championships. The long list of accomplishments can be found on the Cascades social media. The British Columbia Hockey Conference announced details of its 3rd annual Prospects game, which will be hosted by the Pacific Junior Hockey League's Langley Trappers on Tuesday, November 19th at the George Preston Recreation Centre in Langley. Congratulations to Chilliwack Jets players Noah Marshall, Lanchlin Staniford, Jesse Brido, and Deegan Holding on being named to the BCHC Prospects game. The Jets are currently 21-1 and leading the league by 5 points. The Chiefs are on a hot streak with a 4-game win streak and not a loss to their name in November. They have a 3-game home stretch taking on Cowichan Valley on the 15th, Prince George on the 16th, and Nanaimo on the 23rd. They are currently leading their division and 2nd overall. The NCAA Division I Council voted last Thursday to make Canadian Hockey League major junior players eligible for the NCAA Division I hockey, and those players may start to participate on NCAA Division I hockey games effective August 1st, 2025. That includes the WHL. That has been a long-time issue for the governing body, Hockey Canada. The BC Hockey League issued a statement saying they have been a pipeline for players to the NCAA and will continue to do so. The NCAA issue is one of the many reasons why the BCHL stepped away from Hockey Canada. That is your Chill TV Sports Update. Coming up, Cari with the weather.
Weather this weekend is going to be very wet. Actually, really, really wet, because they're calling for 15 to 20 millimeters of rain one day, so that's going to be nasty. And temperatures are not going to get above 10 degrees, so it's going to be wet and cold. Next week, pretty similar as well. Your best chance of no rain is probably on Tuesday. There's only a 30% chance of rain for that day. Here's a fun fact. The Chilliwack and District Seniors Resources Society is having their stocking donation day drop-off on November 20th from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Drive in through the Evergreen Hall parking lot off of Corporal. Drop off things like toiletries, chocolates, stockings, hats, anything in between. Grab a coffee and a muffin from Hampton House and drive on out through Spadina. I'm really looking forward to that, and hopefully everybody has a great week.
Thanks, Cari, and thank you for watching. If you have a local news story you'd like us to report on, you can always send us a note to news@chilltv.ca. Thanks for watching. Have yourself a great weekend. I'm Don Lehn.